Hi guys, this is the Audiofool, and for today, we're going to review the ATC SCM19 speakers. What I like the most about the ATC SCM19s is that mid-range, one of the best I've heard in its price class and beyond. It's rich, clean, with lots of gradient textures. If you've heard the SM11s, they sound very similar, if slightly richer and a bit more bass. In specs, it only goes 2 Hz lower than the SM11s, but in practice, it feels a whole lot more. This is an SM11 on steroids, so you still get that ultra smooth, non-fatiguing treble and that intimate holographic soundstage where you can easily place the instruments. What I don't like about the SM19s is that while the bass is much improved from the SM11s, it still doesn't go as low as the Tekton impact monitors or the Dynaudio Special 40s. When I reviewed the SM11s, I loved them, and I just wished it had a little bit more bass. And with the 19s, I felt that maybe I should have wished for something more because they sound almost exactly like an SM11 with more bass. So there's not much improvement in the treble and mids. The worst part of it is that it costs about twice the price of the SM11, so you're basically paying for $2,000 for a little bit more bass. Well, very well executed bass, but I think most people would be happy with just the SM11s and a pair of front-firing sealed subs, so I've been audio-bowled. Like a woman in high heels, a bit taller but still the same woman. If you want to know more details about the comparison, please keep on watching. The SCM19 looks very similar to the 11s, with similar metal grills that simply look best inside the box. Quite big and heavy at 40 pounds, soft dome on top with a woofer and another soft dome providing the mids. Half of the weight is from this unusual in-house driver. Despite having 8 more liters than the 11s, it only goes down to 54 Hz, just 2 Hz lower, at least on paper. 85 dB sensitivity is a bit below average, but maintains a steady impedance curve at 6 ohms, so it should be an easy drive, at least in that sense. Tapered enclosure, and at the back, no ports with quad binding posts for bi-amping. Looks very sturdy and well built, though it doesn't look too fancy. First, we compare to the KEF LS50s using the Schiit Yggdrasil and Eger. As you would expect from something more than thrice the price, the SM19 tops all the songs and will be the better speaker in pretty much every category. The SM19s go a bit lower than the KEF LS50s, though for higher frequencies, the LS50s have more volume. The 19s have better definition and a lot more textures, and there's no port shuffling to hear when you play loud. The mids sound a bit richer with the SM19s, and despite that, you can hear more nuances than what the LS50s could provide. Vocals are similarly forward, but the 19s do give an illusion of being more forward thanks to its holographic presentation. The LS50s do sound sharper and brighter, though the 19s have much more clarity and resolution. Soundstage is deeper, having an intimate live session feel, while the LS50s sounds slightly compressed and flatter in comparison. The 19s sound much more quiet as well. Like the SM11s, the 19s are the superior speaker and one of the few speakers where I find the vocals to be better than the KEF LS50s. It also does more bass, not significantly deeper, but enough to get me satisfied. It is, however, 3 times the price, but if your budget allows, it's one of the better options, and for me, I find it has the best mids of the lot. Next, we put it up against the Tekton impact monitors, this time using 2 Agers in 1 block mode. And while the SM11 did 3 out of 5 against the Tektons, the 19s do 4 out of 5, losing out in trials of the past, thanks to the low and loud bass of the Tektons, but managed to claim ocean-wide, canyon-deep by getting low enough. And similarly in the music genres, the hefty bass of the Tektons will be favored by dance music, but still keep it 4 out of 5 in favor of the ATCs. Like I mentioned, the Tektons go low and loud significantly much more, but the 19s do sound tighter in the higher sub-bass frequencies. The Tektons have great mids, but the 19s are even better. Despite sounding thicker, it also sounds more solid and grainier than the Tektons. Vocals are slightly more forward and have a greater deal of breadth. The highs are more extended and feels like there was a veil in the Tektons. The Tektons do sound deeper, more holographic, but also slightly farther away. Instruments are better formed and placed in the SM19s thanks to the extra clarity and ultra silence. The SEM19s seem to be the more rounded speakers compared to the Tektons, although it will not go as low. You will get fantastic highs, perfect mids, and good enough bass, although it is twice the price and not twice the performance. So you'll need to try it out for yourself and see if the price premium is worth it. The Tektons, I find them a little bit too warm, but they are great speakers and they offer fantastic value. Finally, we put it up against the SM11s using the Rega Illicit R, and I personally find it makes the SM19s a little bit richer than what I would have wanted, but still sound quite good. In the test tracks and genres, it pretty much goes to the SM19s, but if I'll be honest, if you don't need the extra bass, the SM11 could easily stand toe-to-toe against its bigger brother. For extension, in the specs, the 19 just goes lower by 2 Hz, but in practice, it really feels much more than that, and that extra 8 liters gives you a whole lot more. Volume is pretty much the same though, which is good, as it keeps the same tightness and definition. Mids are slightly richer and slightly more forward in the 19s, but just about the same amount of textures. Highs are just about the same as well. Where it does differ again is in the soundstage, where it's just a bit bigger with more space between instruments, and I find it really hard to tell which one is quieter as they seem to be the same. If you really like the SM11s and you're just looking for a little bit more bass, then the 19s are a great upgrade because they sound almost exactly alike. However, they sound almost exactly alike. You just get a little bit more bass, so it's not really great value since you're paying for twice the price, and it's not as if it digs down really deep. So unless you're really picky about having the same timbre in the sub-bass region, I think most people would be satisfied with just the SM11s plus a sub or two and just keep the money. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, just write them down below. See you in the next video.